Hello and welcome to our lesson on profits prior to incorporation. Today we're going to look at basically the theory part, and in the next video we're going to look at solving one problem. Let's dive in and look at what is profits prior to incorporation. A sole proprietorship or a partnership or a company comes into existence and starts businesses the day they get permission to run that business. But things are a little different for a company that buys or takes over a pre-existing company, be it a sole proprietorship or a partnership. They might purchase that company on a certain date, but they have to wait for them to receive permission from the registrar of companies to actually begin doing business. But that time duration is where someone has to still run that business, someone has to make profits, someone has to do something with the money that is coming out of the business. And let's look at how that is managed, how those profits are managed. Yes, now this is divided into profits prior to incorporation and profits after incorporation. So profits that are accumulated prior to incorporation are capital profits, and profits after incorporation are revenue profits. Okay, so we have that in mind. Let's go into allocation of expenses. Now there are these three things that we need to keep in mind. The first one is that all profits and losses are needed to be divided between these two phases. Okay, and that is divided based on time. Yes, time in nature. For example, if that business is purchased on a certain date and it takes 4 months for it to be incorporated, what happens is you have got 4 months profit prior to incorporation and the rest after. So for example, we'll put a timeline here. Let me select a pen. Okay, let's put this timeline here and say we have got April 1 till March 31. Okay, so say this is 2000 and this is 2001. Okay, so if it took 1, 2, 3, 4 months, okay, May, June, July and August. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. The entire April, the entire May, the entire June and the entire July. 4 months it took to get permissions from the registrar of companies. That means that the profit prior to incorporation is based on this timeline. Okay, and then the rest is this timeline. Okay, so you have 12 months. Out of that you take 4 months as prior to incorporation and you're left with 8 months, right? So that is 4:8. Okay, now if that is not suitable, we'll go into the second method, and that is based on sales. Okay, this is going to be based on sales. For example, if the first 3 months sale is 1,20,000 and the total sale is 360 or 3,60,000, that is 3,60,000 minus 1,20,000. Okay, what are you left with? You're left with 2,40,000. Yeah, so the ratio here is 1:2. Yes, 1:2. Okay, so this is based on sales. Okay, the third part here is expenses, dividing the expenses. Okay, so the expenses are divided on these 4 bases. The first one is when the expenses are based on sales or turnover. Okay, These are commission on sale, discount to customers, advertising expenses, and so on and so forth. The second part here is expenses appropriated on the basis of time. For example, rent for a month, okay, salaries paid for a month, interest on loans most probably for a year, insurance on business 6 months, 1 year, 3 months, it all depends, okay, and wages, maybe daily wages, okay, and depreciation of machinery or whatever you're depreciating based on time. The third part here is expenses which are paid prior to incorporation and any charge for prior to incorporation period, like interest on purchase consideration, okay, salaries of the auctioneers, and so on and so forth. And the fourth one is expenses which are incurred after incorporation, okay, for example, the director's fees, okay. You don't have a director for a sole proprietor or a partnership. The director comes into existence only after a company is set up, right? Interest on debentures and preliminary expenses. All of these are examples of expenses which occur after incorporation, okay. So these are the 4 expenses, and the other 2 that we have looked at on the top, these are for all the profits, right here, yeah, this is for profits, okay. So keeping this in mind, let's stop for this class and look for look at a problem in our next lesson.